Hello, this is Shankar. I'm here to give a small brief on the aspect of marriage. Now, what I'm going to do is talk about Vedic astrology, or let us say about Bhrigu Nadi astrology, or whatever I've learnt. Idea is to tell you about small things about marriage which are important, so that they indicate you. I cannot tell you everything about marriage, how it is deciphered, how it is done, but small indicators which are important to you. Now, in any horoscope which we have, which has 12 houses, in any chart, the most important house which discusses astrology, or the aspect of astrology that is marriage in it, is the 7th house. The 7th house is the pivotal house for marriage, and the other two houses which are very important along with 7th house is the 2nd house and the 11th house. The 2nd, 7th and 11th, they make the marriage to happen. So when you are having the right dasha, the dasha is very important. It's a period which rules a native for a particular period of time, and in that dasha, if the 2nd, 7th and 11th they get related, a marriage will happen. Similarly, the houses which are negation to marriage, that is by which marriage may not happen, are 1, 6 and 10. 1 is your ego, 6 is 12th to 7th, so it is negation of marriage, and 10th is you do not get the happiness from marriage. So let's understand one thing, that for seeing marriage, it is not only the 7th house which is important. You should also take into consideration 2nd house, 7th house and 11th house. Although the other houses are very important, but these are three houses which are absolutely critical and should have a play within each other in the case of the dasha system, or when you have when you read the Navamsh and you read the birth chart. These are three houses which should get related for a marriage to happen. And if there is marriage not to happen, or there is negation of marriage, then it is the 1st, 6th and the 10th house which are important for marriage. Now, this was basically a little high level kind of a thing, or for beginners it could not be very critical or important. But what I'm going to tell you now is what is the major planet which governs the marriage in both the cases of male and the female. The planet which governs the female for marriage is Jupiter. Jupiter is the most important planet in the case of female horoscopy, or in the cases of ladies, which governs marriage. So therefore, this one planet, if it is strong in your birth chart, you can be rest assured that marriage would happen. Jupiter also tells the kind of husband you would get. Now, if Jupiter is strongly placed, well respected, and it is strong both in the basic chart as well as in the Navamsha, you would get a good husband. So what is important is, what I'm trying to say is, Jupiter is important, but to understand what will be the level of your husband, or when the marriage would happen, etc., you have to see Jupiter not only in the basic chart but also in the Navamsha. You have to also see the degrees, the sign, where it is placed. So this is a very small part of the puzzle, that if Jupiter is well placed, it is in the Kendra or the Trikona houses, Jupiter is aspected by good planets, and Jupiter is strong, marriage will happen. Now, also Jupiter also gives an indication of the kind of husband you would get. Assuming, I'll give an example. Now, suppose Jupiter is in the sign of Venus, that is, suppose it is in Taurus or in Libra. So when Jupiter is in Taurus, you would get a husband which would have Taurian kind of parameters or indications. What the sign Taurus represents is that it's an earthly sign. The person is practical, it aspects finance, it takes care of business, it takes care of banking, it takes care of certain aspects which are practical in nature. So most probably, if Jupiter is in Taurus, though it's in the house of Venus, and Venus is not a very healthy sign for Jupiter, is supposed to be inimical, but don't get into that. Jupiter is in Taurus, you would get a husband who's related to the banking, financing, food, such kind of sectors. Similarly, if Jupiter in the sign of Libra, Libra basically is a sign which basically deals with balance. It deals with business, it deals with contracts, it deals with negotiations, it deals with various issues of even a law, making documents. So you would have somebody who would be dealing in these kinds of things. So Jupiter in the case of a female or in the case of a woman is a very important planet to look into